Change is a very meticulous process for a lot of people. You choose to avoid what hurts. That is not detaching. Don't you ever, and this shit damn near about to make me tear up because I feel that shit inside. I feel it deeply. Don't you ever give nothing that power over you. That is obsession, damn near. Welcome to my channel. Brand new channel, Stoie Vlogs. This is mainly going to be a channel for IRL content, but of course I'm still going to just desktop vlog, sometimes whenever I feel something strongly and I feel that I need to share it to y'all, that's what I'm going to do. But there's going to be a lot of IRL vlogs, a lot of fun interactive stuff that we do on this channel, just getting into the mainstream stuff. Of course, if you don't know already, I have a main channel called Stoie444 as of right now. I'm going to link it in my description so you can check it out. On that channel, I post more of video essays and mainly like way more in-depth content. So if you would like to see that side of the spectrum, go check that channel out. Now to get to the point of this video, as you've seen by the title, I'll be going over the 3 steps, or let me check this out again. The 3 levels of real change and where most people get stuck. As you can tell by the title, change is a very meticulous process for a lot of people, which is why I'm also trying to make this video so it may be of some help to you in this change or in this process. And as you may know or may not know, change also comes with detachment. And if you don't know what that is, I'm gonna teach you a little more about that in this video. As we go over the 3 steps, I'm going to be giving you more insights as to like where this ties into your life and how you may have not noticed it up until now, because a lot of what my content does is emphasize on the point of you're missing a lot of the lessons you're supposed to have learned already. And that's why you keep going through this turmoil and keep going through the same mistakes and problems and burdens that you feel every day, because you're missing the problem. You're missing the lesson, I mean. But without further ado, let's get started with the video. I got my notes here. I usually just go off the top of the head, which I also did here, but prior to this video, I went into deep meditation. That's a constant habit of mine. I like to explore my mind and search for things, search for things I may not have learned before. So like I said, prior to this video, I did deep meditation and I came to this point. There are 3 keys to change, maybe more in the future. I'm just covering these right now based off of my own thoughts and a little insight from the internet. Number 1, radical realization, or step 1 is radical realization / awareness. You realize you're attached. You stop deluding yourself and you admit your weaknesses. What this means, or what I want to explain first, is the fact that radical realization means you radically gain awareness, or just out of the blue you realize like, oh my God, why do I feel like this about this certain concept or this person or this thing? It could be anything. You can be attached to anything. For most people, y'all be attached in relationships. You can't forget about your ex or the good things that y'all did together. Other things can be like things you would never notice. Certain habits you have with your family. You may come from a bad home and experience trauma to the point where it's just attached to you for so long and you don't even realize it. And you may have realized it now because somebody pointed it out or something happened to where you couldn't have possibly missed it. So that is signs of attachment that you need to look out for. The second part, where you stop deluding yourself. Now, a lot of people skip over this part because it may hurt more to face the truth sometimes. Like a lot of people can't handle the truth, and that can lead to various circumstances. I won't go in depth to it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you know what I mean. And the more you delude yourself, the more you cheat yourself out of a better reality. You cannot keep sugarcoating yourself or sugarcoating pain so that it doesn't hurt. So you just rip the Band-Aid off so you can grow from this. And the more you do that, and the more you're willing to go through that pain and experience the pain, find comfort in the pain zone. Most bodybuilders, that's what they live by. The more you find comfort in that, the more you will discover about yourself and be able to live the life that you feel you truly deserve. But like I said, you have to stop deluding yourself. You have to stop sugarcoating your circumstance and being in denial about what you truly are. And that starts with detachment. Lastly, admitting your weaknesses. Once you finally stop deluding yourself, you admit and see what is wrong with you and why you feel this way about certain things that you're attached to. For example, with me, I know I had a problem, or I used to have a problem in insecurity. I'm not going to front. Like, I'm going to always keep it a buck with y'all. You feel me? A nigga was insecure. Not even just about looks or something like that, but just who I was as a person. I always had an inferiority complex, being the short guy growing up. Just usual small things that really shouldn't have meant that much was making me insecure. And I held an attachment to that because no matter what I did and how much I grew as a person, that followed me, and I kept letting my old self define me in that version of me, because that's how I thought and seen myself. No matter how much I grew, no matter how much I worked out, no matter how many girls I got, I still felt that way about myself because I was attached, and I didn't know how to detach from that, which is why I'm teaching y'all today. So, like I said, you have to stop deluding yourself. And when I finally stopped deluding myself in denials that I was insecure, I used to say, "Oh, I'm not insecure." And I remember I used to have a couple girls that used to point it out to me, and a couple friends, but "Oh, you're insecure about this." I'll brush it off as a joke, be like, well, if I'm insecure, what are you? Because you're a child. Like, you feel me? Like, just pay attention to what your triggers may be and what you're doing, because you may not notice it in yourself that you might just be delusional. Step two, once you get past the fact that you're aware, you stop deluding yourself and you admit, I need help, I need change. What can I do? Step two, excuse me, initial detachment. I call it pre-detachment. The psychological definition is initial detachment. And the statement I wrote for this is, you choose to avoid what hurts. You think you're healing, but it still holds emotional power over you. Oh my gosh, that is so deep. I gotta take the glasses off for that one. That shit is deep. But okay. Let's get into this. You choose to avoid what hurts. That statement alone says a lot. What is detachment about? I'm gonna give y'all a second to think about this. What is detachment truly about? What does it mean? What does it mean to detach, to break free, to let go? Detachment in itself derives from the meaning of letting go, breaking away, finally gaining freedom, detachment. We are separate. We're no longer together. And now, initial detachment means that that's what it was supposed to be initially. That was supposed to happen. That's what you thought happened. Initially, you detached. Now, what this statement here means, and that is, you choose to avoid what hurts. That is not detaching. That is not detachment. That is not true freedom. Because if you're avoiding what hurts, you're never going to get over it, or you're never going to heal from it. You're never going to learn from that mistake or learn how to patch up that wound because you're avoiding it. What can you do? You think you're healing, but it still holds emotional power over you. Oh my gosh, bro. You think you're healing because you're finally avoiding it. And let's go into depth with this. What does avoiding mean? To avoid pain. Let's say, for example, you tell yourself, oh, let me stop thinking about it. Let me stop thinking about the bad things that used to happen to me. Let me not go in depth and go down that rabbit hole and really figure out why I feel the way I feel about certain things because this happened. Um, Another example, avoiding pain. When you don't push past your limits in the workout because you realize that the pain is starting to roll in, my muscles are sore. I don't have to go this far because I know it's going to hurt. I only need this certain amount to grow strength anyway. So why would I go past that point? That avoiding pain right there, avoiding what hurts, that is somewhat close to emotional baggage. You choose to avoid what hurts because you don't want to go through the pain of solving your problems. You have to confront that directly and understand that this is the gateway to everything I've been asking for. This is the last hurdle, the big wall to climb over to get what I always wanted and what I know lies there waiting for me. You think you're healing, but it still holds emotional power over you. You think you're healing because once you stop thinking about it, once you disassociate from everything that represents that attachment and the pain you went through, that you finally escaped it. But you're not. It still follows you, and you'll see it in multiple ways throughout your life. You think you're healing because you got away from it, or you think you got away from it. You may have, let's say, like you lived in a traumatic home and you finally moved out of that house away from those people, and now you can live your own life. You may be living your own life and you may be out of that house, but you're still attached to the pain caused through that experience. You have not truly grown from that experience and used it for the betterment of yourself. And now it holds emotional power over you because it kind of controls your actions. Once you start trying to avoid it instead of confronting it, you're giving it power. You're saying, as long as I stay out of the way of this, I'll be all right. As long as I don't do this, which will make me go back to this, I'll be okay. Why would you give anyone or anything that power over your soul? Don't you ever, and this shit damn near about to make me tear up because I feel that shit inside. I feel it deeply. Don't you ever give nothing that power over you. That is obsession, damn near. Obsession is not a good thing. And a lot of people be like, oh, you should be obsessed to some extent. It'll help you grow. It will give you more energy, give you more power to do what you want to do. No. And by obsession, in this form, it means I'm obsessed with avoiding what could hurt me. Don't you ever give something that amount of power over you. You're letting that pain dictate your actions to the point where you have to avoid certain things in your life and don't do certain things and stay away from certain experiences because you don't want to feel that pain again. Don't give anything, anyone that power. You are the sole decider of your own fate. Only you can tell you where to go, what to do, how to be. Please understand that. Step 3. I put up 2 talking about 3. Step 3. Step 3 is the paradox of suppression. This ties into step 2 as well when it comes to the emotional power it holds over you when you stay close to attachment. Now, step 3, what you resist persists. The more focused energy you give to something, the more power it gains or the more it grows. Now, that is also a universal law. It's called the law of attraction / manifestation. The paradox of suppression means it's a paradox because you think it's what you want, but it's not. And it's suppression because you're suppressing yourself by trying to avoid something. Like, sorry, I'm jumbling my words here. Let me give you an example. What you resist persists. That means 9 times out of 10, if you try to avoid something, you're going to end up finding it. If not finding it, you're going to make it worse. For example, let's say we all been through a little joning contest, a little shit talking in high school or whatever. And let's say you're getting bullied or something to the point where you don't want to joke anymore. You tell them to stop. You tell them niggas to stop. They gonna get on your ass, bro. Like no mercy, bro. You start telling them niggas to stop, let you try to get up from the table, they gonna start baking your ass all the way out the door. But that's what I mean. What you resist persists. And that's not just in the physical sense. That's emotional, physical. It can take any form. What you resist persists. And what a lot of people miss about life is that everything has to do with energy. Everything is energetic, constant motion. Energy is transferred and received. So if you're resisting something, you're giving it more energy because you're taking energy from yourself to stop it. And you give it that energy by trying to stop it and trying to combat it, trying to fight it, trying to resist it. So the more you combat, the more you fight, the more energy you give it, the more it's going to persist, the more it's going to act against you. So let me move on to the next part of the statement. The more focus / energy you give to something, like I said before, energy you're giving, the more power it gains. As I said before, if you try to stop something, it will only grow stronger. Stop trying to resist. What you should do is shift your focus. Paradigm shift is what it's called. Shift your focus. Leave it alone. It has nothing to do with you anymore. Leave it as it is. I recently saw this quote DDG made in Streamer University where he said, if you're a football player, the moment you let up in the collision or tackle, two going head to head with 2 defensive linemen, the moment you let up, you will be ran over, which is true. You are resisting the other lineman. But how I see it is, You don't need to resist him at all to win, to get that touchdown. You can choose to resist and see who's stronger mentally or physically, whatever you want to do. Or you can hit a fucking spin move and get around his ass. He gonna fall on the ground and you gonna be around him heading to the touchdown because you changed your focus towards the touchdown. Your focus initially was on overpowering him, trying to resist him from pushing you down. Once you changed your focus, hit the spin move. Oh, he wasn't thinking of that. He was just trying to fight you back. Now you have a clearer vision. You changed your focus. He's out of your way, all from a simple spin move. You didn't have to work half as hard as trying to resist him. Y'all getting my point here? What you resist persists. Change your focus. Change your reality. It's that simple. That's all the steps really. I can go way more in depth to this, but I want to try to keep this video shorter. But there is a bonus step, a fourth step, and that's called transmutation through refocusing, which is also what I just mentioned with the football analogy here. Transmutation is taking one thing and using it for another. In a more accurate sense, taking negative energy and transmuting it into positive energy or positive reinforcement. I do this a lot, and you may hear this a lot among the spiritual community. Transmutation is a powerful tool that can get you through almost anything. Use the negativity to fuel positive beginnings. Detachment is about shifting energies. True detachment is not avoiding the problem. It's about accepting the problem for what it is, not deluding yourself, not sugarcoating anything, accepting that you are weak, you need help, you need problems to be solved. And using that to fuel the positivity you can get from this experience. How can I grow from this? I don't want to avoid it anymore. I'm going to figure out how can I help myself get out of this, you know what I'm saying? And lastly, what I want to go over is the last part where I said where most people get stuck. Let me say